we're all done with the main sauce making here, and we're going to start making the meatballs. So the first thing we have to do is we have to break up the eggs. As I've indicated earlier, I'm going to use 3 extra large eggs. And I wish I could break these like the professionals. I like to break them in one hand, but I haven't got to that stage yet. Then I'll add the ingredients to the eggs. Again, we got the garlic powder. I'm going to put that in there. Not too much this time. And garlic salt. And then we got the basil leaves. And the parsley. And some grated cheese. Now I'm using, that's 1 teaspoonful to good 3 teaspoons full of the cheese. And now you're ready to mix it up. And I remember in Kramer versus Kramer, he couldn't do it the first time he tried it. Well, I think that was baloney. You could do it no matter when you try it. All you have to do is just keep mixing it. Of course, that was for the movies. But what are we doing now, right? So you mix it quite thoroughly. Make sure all your ingredients are mixed thoroughly with the eggs. So this might take you a couple of minutes to do that. Make sure that all the cheese has been dispersed through this mixture. You want any crumbled cheese in there. And now I'm going to put the breadcrumbs in here. And as you can see, I have Italian style breadcrumbs. You get them in any supermarket. And again, I don't measure this, but you're going to have a good portion of breadcrumbs in here. Make sure you cover the egg mix quite thoroughly. And if I were to guess, I would say I'm putting in here at least a cup to a cup and a half of breadcrumbs. Now what I've done is I put the breadcrumbs in there. As you can see, you can't see the egg mixture whatsoever. And now I'm going to get some water. I have a 6-ounce glass here. And I take the water and gently pour over the breadcrumbs. So that's 1 6-ounce glass. Make sure that it's thoroughly on the breadcrumbs. I'm going to get some more water. Another 6-ounce glass of water. And again, I just casually put it over the breadcrumbs until I'm almost covered all the breadcrumbs. So I've used both 6 ounces of water, and I'm going to let that set for about 5 minutes.
All right.
And all right, now that we've let this mixture stand for at least 5 minutes, so I'm just going to mix it with a fork. Some people stick their hands right in there and mix it, but I'm too timid to do that, so I'm going to mix it with my fork. Make sure that it's mixed pretty well. The breadcrumbs and the egg mixture. You can see I'm just doing that. Just getting a good mix here. That's all we're doing. All right, now that we've done that, gonna make sure everything's off the fork. And I'm gonna wash my hands just before I start doing the kneading here for the meatballs. So, excuse me while I wash my hands. As you can see, I've taken any jewelry I might have had on my hands, and it's all off because there is some bacteria in jewelry, so I make sure that's off as well. So now I'm ready to add my ground beef to my meatball mix. Again, we have about 2 pounds of ground beef. And this is very critical. If those of you who like salt in your meats or any mixtures, make sure you just add a sprinkling of salt on the top of your ground beef to start with. Then you start mixing your ground beef with your meatball mixture. Again, it's very important that you mix this quite thoroughly. You don't want to have a meatball that has just all the mixture in just one particular or a few particular meatballs. So you make sure that you knead this quite well. This is probably the most effort you'll put in making sauce, and that's the kneading for the meatballs. I guess it just follows that the more effort you put into something, the better it turns out. Now you might ask, how many meatballs is this going to make? Well, I never really counted them, but I would say you're going to get at least about 20 meatballs out of this. Decent sized meatballs. And all I can say about these meatballs is that my family tells me that they're very good and they're very soft. At this stage now, we're going to add just a little bit more salt. Not much, because we don't want to over salt it, so just make sure you get another sprinkling of salt, and that'll be the end of the salt. So it's actually 2 sprinklings of salt and about 2 pounds of ground beef. My mother used to take the meatballs and fry them before she put them in the sauce. So she would cringe if she saw me doing this, because I don't fry my meatballs first. I just throw them in the sauce. And for many of you, that would be a no-no. And believe me, I would love to fry them first, but I just don't want to take the time to do that. Okay, now I think she's ready. And we're going to start putting meatballs into the sauce. And I'm ready to make the meatballs. The mix is all set. So you just take a portion in your hand, and it's up to you as how big you want your meatballs. I wouldn't make them too big, but I make them decent size. Let me just show you when I do the first one here. Just keep moving in your hand. You're not going to get a perfectly round meatball because this mixture is still soft. So that's about the size of the meatball. So this is going to take at least 10 minutes to get all this meat into meatballs and into your sauce.
What is that, please?
Here's with the last meatball. And so you just take it in your hand, like so, and again you're keeping going back and forth with both hands. And you're getting it fairly round, it's not too bad. This last meatball is kind of looks a little extra large. It's from my video taker here. You'll enjoy it later on tonight. What I want to show you is that in there, just make sure that all your meatballs are below your sauce, so they will start cooking immediately. Once you've done that, you take your cover and just place it on top of your pan. Look at your heat and keep it on a low heat, not all the way down to the lowest, but on a low heat, because I want to make sure you're going to stir this, stir your sauce at least about every 20 minutes. Keep an eye on it and taste it occasionally for flavor, and I know it'll be good. Now if the sauce is hot, you can probably use the sauce right away, but of course the meat is still uncooked. So I would cook this, I do it at least for 2.5 hours that I make this sauce simmer with on low heat. So then I make sure, then I test my meat and make sure the meat is fully cooked. At that point in time, your meat should be fully cooked. If you want to do it for 3 hours, that's fine. Make sure your meat is fully cooked. I know it'll be good. So I really enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well.